Ever get that feeling like you're paying extra just for that little Made in America tag?
Hmm.
Well, today we're really going to dig into tariffs.
Right.
Those taxes on all that stuff we buy from other countries.
Sounds
See if there's any truth to that feeling.
good.
We're taking apart this article
Okay.
from the Tax Foundation.
Yeah.
It's called How Will Trump's Universal and China Tariffs Impact the Economy?
Interesting.
And believe me, what they're saying here
Mm-hmm.
could really change how you think about your next big purchase.
Like what kind of purchases?
Oh, it could be anything.
Okay.
A new phone, parts for your car,
Mm-hmm.
even just groceries.
Wow. Okay. What's kind of crazy about tariffs is they're always presented like they're just this easy fix for
Yeah.
these big economic problems, but it's
Yeah.
way more complicated than that.
So, just to get us all on the same page, can you explain exactly what a tariff is?
Yeah, so basically it's a tax
Okay.
on stuff we import from other countries.
Okay.
So like, say you're buying a phone
Mm-hmm.
made overseas.
Yeah.
When it gets to the US,
Okay.
the importer,
Mm-hmm.
they got to pay this extra fee to the government.
Oh, I see. So it's like another toll booth,
Yeah,
but for all the goods coming across the border.
exactly.
Okay.
And just like any toll,
Mm-hmm.
that cost,
Yeah.
it gets passed down the line
Makes sense.
and ends
like a
up,
grading.
you got it, the consumer.
So
Yeah.
you're trying to make all those imported goods more expensive
Exactly.
to encourage people to buy the stuff made in America.
Yeah, so it's kind of like those buy local campaigns,
Right.
but with like a built-in financial push, you know?
Basically, yeah.
So tariffs are all about protecting those industries here at home.
Right.
By giving them an edge.
Okay.
But here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Sometimes this protection,
Yeah.
it can actually do the opposite
Oh,
and hold back innovation.
wait a minute. I thought tariffs were supposed to help American businesses,
Right.
not hold them back.
Yeah, it does seem kind of backwards.
Yeah.
But there's evidence that shows tariffs can make companies complacent.
Okay.
Like, take the steel industry.
Okay.
Let's say American steelmakers. They're protected from competition.
Mm-hmm.
Because of those high tariffs on imported steel,
Okay.
they might not be as motivated
To do what?
to put money into research and development
Oh, I see.
to improve how they make steel
Yeah.
or even come up with new technologies for
Yeah.
making steel.
Yeah. It's like if you're always going to win,
Right.
why even bother training harder?
Exactly.
But couldn't you also say that tariffs could push American companies to innovate more
That's a good point.
so they can compete
Yeah.
with those higher priced imports?
It's a good question. There's definitely arguments on both sides
Yeah.
about whether tariffs encourage innovation or stifle it.
Okay.
But looking back,
Mm-hmm.
we've seen cases
Okay.
where industries protected by tariffs,
Yeah.
they've focused more on lobbying for more protection instead of putting money into research and development.
Oh.
They just get comfortable with how things are,
Yeah.
and that leads to stagnation.
So that new gadget you've been saving up for
Yeah.
tariffs
Mm-hmm.
could mean fewer cool features
Yeah,
or even delays in its release
exactly.
because there's just no incentive to innovate.
It's a real possibility, and it's not just fancy gadgets.
Well,
It can affect everything.
wow.
From how efficient solar panels are to
Yeah.
developing new medical treatments.
Yeah.
The ripple effects of less innovation can be huge.
Okay, so tariffs. Maybe not so great for innovation,
Yeah.
but what about the direct hit to our wallets?
Right.
This article mentions some pretty big tariff proposals.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The article looks at the potential impact
Mhm.
of some tariffs proposed by President Trump.
Okay.
We're talking tariffs from 10% to 20% on all imports,
Wow.
at least 60% on stuff from China,
Okay.
and a crazy 25% to 100% on things from Mexico. And these aren't just numbers on a page. They
No.
could really change the whole economic landscape.
Those are some serious numbers. So what could those tariffs mean for the everyday person?
Well, one of the first things you'd notice is that the prices of imported goods would go up.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, let's say you're buying a smartphone again,
Okay.
and it costs, let's say, $1,000,
Mhm.
and there's a 25% tariff on it. So now you're suddenly looking at a $1,250 price tag.
Ouch. So that Made in America label
Yeah,
could come with a hefty price tag.
exactly.
And it's not just about the sticker shock
Right.
on individual things.
It's bigger than that.
Okay.
These price increases, they
Yeah.
can affect the whole economy.
Can you give me an example?
Okay, imagine you own a small business.
Okay.
and you need imported parts
Yeah.
to make your products.
Makes sense.
Now, when tariffs make those parts more expensive, you've got two choices.
Okay.
You either eat that extra cost and your profits take a hit, or you pass that cost along to your customers, raising prices.
Right.
Either way, it puts a strain on things.
Right. And if people have less money to spend because everything's more expensive,
Exactly.
that hurts businesses across the board.
Yeah.
Leads to slower economic growth, maybe even job losses.
Exactly. It's like a domino effect
Wow.
that can reach every part of the economy.
Okay, so we've got higher prices, less innovation,
Right.
anything else.
Well, we also have to think about what other countries might do.
Oh, right. Retaliation.
Exactly.
If we put tariffs on their goods,
Yeah.
they could do the same to ours.
Exactly.
And then wouldn't everything just get even more expensive?
You got it.
And wouldn't that hurt everyone involved?
Absolutely. Those retaliatory tariffs,
Okay.
they can escalate into trade wars,
Oh, geez.
which can really mess up global trade and just make things worse for everyone.
Okay, so we've got these proposed tariffs.
Yeah.
They could raise prices, hurt innovation,
Yeah.
and even start trade wars.
It's not looking good.
It's kind of a grim picture.
Yeah.
But didn't the article mention one study
Yes.
that said something different?
There's this one really interesting detail in the article. It's about a study
Okay.
that suggests universal tariffs.
Meaning?
Tariffs on everything we import
Oh, okay.
could actually help the economy grow.
Wait, what? That seems to go against everything we just talked about.
I know, right?
How could tariffs possibly be good for the economy?
It does seem strange, and that's exactly why this study has sparked so much debate.
So is there something wrong with the research? Or could there be something else going on?
That's a great question, and it's something we should definitely discuss. This study, though, it's definitely interesting. A lot of economists are kind of skeptical about it.
So what are they saying? Why are so many economists, pushing back on it?
Well, a lot of them say the study makes some assumptions that are, well,
Okay.
maybe a little too optimistic. Like what?
It assumes that other countries wouldn't retaliate with their own tariffs.
Right.
Which, as we talked about, is probably not going to happen in the real world.
Yeah, a trade war would probably just wipe out any good stuff.
Right.
And just lead to higher prices and a shaky economy for everybody.
Exactly.
Okay, so besides retaliation, what else are they saying?
There are also some concerns about the study's methods.
Okay.
Especially how it models the way it tries to show how all these different factors work together to influence economic growth.
Okay.
Critics say the model is too simple.
Yeah.
It doesn't really show the potential downsides, widespread tariffs.
No, it's not that the study is trying to be misleading.
Right.
It's just that it might be maybe a little too positive.
Exactly.
Based on some pretty specific and maybe unrealistic conditions.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
Okay.
It's important to remember that these economic models,
while they're useful, they always have to simplify things.
Okay.
And make assumptions.
Makes sense.
You got to consider the context and the limitations of any study.
Yeah.
Especially when it's going against the grain.
Okay, so we've got all these different views.
Right.
Some studies saying tariffs are bad for the economy. Then this one's saying maybe they're good.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to keep track.
Yeah, it is a complicated issue, and I think that's one of the main takeaways here.
Okay.
Tariffs aren't a simple fix. They can have all sorts of effects, different parts of the economy.
Right.
And sometimes those effects are totally unexpected.
Okay, so for the average person, someone who's just trying to get by, pay their bills, maybe save up for something nice, why should they even care about tariffs?
Well, the truth is, tariffs affect everyone in the economy.
Really?
Even if you don't deal with international trade directly, they affect the prices you pay for everything, what you can buy, and even how fast technology improves.
So that new phone I'm saving for could be more expensive.
Exactly.
Or not have all the latest features because of tariffs.
Exactly. And it's not just high-tech stuff.
Right.
Tariffs can affect the price of everything. Your car, your clothes, your food.
Wow. It's like a hidden tax.
That's a great way to put it. It's a cost that's often hidden in the price.
Yeah.
So you don't notice it as much as like a sales tax.
Right.
But it's still there.
So now that we know how tariffs work and how they can affect us, what can we actually do about it?
That's a good question.
Can we do anything?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Knowing more is always helpful.
Right.
The more you understand about tariffs, the better choices you can make.
Like what?
Well, for example, You could choose to support businesses that get their materials from within the U.S. Or choose products that aren't really affected by tariffs.
So just being a smart shopper can actually make a difference.
It can. What you choose to buy sends a message to businesses.
Cool.
About what consumers care about.
Okay.
And beyond that, understanding tariffs can also help you...
To do what?
To get involved in politics.
Right, because at the end of the day, it's politicians who make these decisions about tariffs.
Exactly.
Not economists.
Right.
So we can contact our representatives, support policies we believe in, and even vote for candidates who will prioritize policies that benefit us.
Exactly.
And help the economy grow.
Those are all great ways to make your voice heard.
Okay.
And it's super important to remember, even though most economists agree that tariffs are bad, politicians don't always follow that logic.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, sometimes decisions about tariffs are made for political reasons, even if they're not the best economic choices.
So, like, a politician might impose tariffs just to appeal to certain voters.
Exactly.
Or to try and get leverage in negotiations with another country, even if it hurts the economy in the long run.
Unfortunately, that's a possibility. That's why it's so important to stay informed and get involved. We need to hold our elected officials accountable. Make sure they're making decisions that are good for the people they represent.
Okay, so we've got this mix of economics and politics where what's good for one isn't always good for the other.
It's a tricky situation.
With all this complexity and all these different interests, is there any way to cut through all the noise?
That's the million-dollar question.
Is there a way to figure out if tariffs are good or bad?
Yeah. Is there a simple test?
Some kind of litmus test?
That's a great question. And it leads to a bigger question that I think everyone listening should ask themselves.
What's that?
How much are you willing to pay for that Made in America label? Because that label, as we've been talking about, often comes with a price.
It really makes you think. We always think of Made in America as a good thing. Like it means quality.
Right.
And supporting our own people.
Exactly.
But as we've been saying, that label can come with some hidden costs.
Exactly. And those costs, they might show up as higher prices at the store. Or maybe as fewer cool features.
In the things we buy.
Right.
So it's all about recognizing those trade-offs and making choices that make sense for us. Whether that's affordability, innovation, or supporting American workers.
Exactly.
And sometimes supporting American workers might actually mean choosing the imported product.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If a company gets its materials ethically from overseas and provides good jobs here in America, that's still supporting American workers.
It is.
It's about looking beyond just the label and really understanding how global trade works.
I think you're right. There's no easy answer here.
No magic formula.
Nope.
But the more we know about all this, the better choices we can make.
Exactly. Understanding how tariffs work and how they can affect us can make us more thoughtful consumers.
And more engaged citizens.
Exactly.
We can start asking those tough questions.
Like, what kind of questions?
How much extra am I willing to pay for this?
Right.
Or what are the real costs of buying this?
Yeah, those are good ones.
And those questions can lead to some really interesting conversations.
I think so, too.
And maybe even change how we think about the stuff we buy. And the policies we support.
It's all about moving beyond those gut reactions and really thinking things through.
Well, this deep dive into tariffs has been really eye-opening.
It has been interesting.
We've learned how they work, how they can affect the economy and innovation, and the political stuff that often drives these decisions.
Right. We've also seen how these ideas about economics actually affect our daily lives.
In a big way.
Yeah, they change what we pay for things, what we buy, and even how fast technology improves.
I hope you, the listener, are walking away from this with a better understanding of all this and the tools to make smarter choices.
Remember, knowledge is power.
And economics, that power can mean real savings, smarter shopping, and just being more aware of how the world works. So the next time you see a news story about tariffs or debate about trade policy, you'll be ready to see past the headlines. Understand what's really going on, and maybe even join the conversation with a more informed point of view.
Until next time, keep thinking critically.
And happy shopping.